W.
Welcome back to Cohort W, the podcast where we tap into the minds of warrant officer leaders who are shaping the future of the Army. I'm your host, Chief Warrant Officer 4, Jessie Morlan, and today we've got a guest who brings the perfect blend of experience, grit, and forward thinking when it comes to warrant officer professional military education. This season, we're tackling one of the most important conversations in the force right now: modernizing PME to meet the demands of tomorrow's warfighting environment. And today, we're zooming in on what that means for the Adjutant General Corps and the broader human resources mission set. Joining us is none other than Chief Warrant Officer 4 Ronald Carrion, an AG Warrant Officer Intermediate Level Education, or ILE, follow-on instructor and leader, who has spent the last 2 decades translating HR expertise into warfighter readiness. From Iraq and Afghanistan to AFRICOM and beyond, his operational lens is wide, and now he's using it to shape the next generation of HR warrant officers through one of the most demanding and forward-leaning PME programs out there. Mr. Carrion, welcome to Cohort W. It's an honor to have you on the show. How are things at the AG school these days?
Well, thank you so much for that introduction. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. Things are great. Busy as always. Getting ready to graduate a class next Monday, as a matter of fact. So I'm excited about that. Always great to see warrant officers complete their PME and get ready to go out there and drive change.
Before we dive into the specifics of PME modernization, can you share with our listeners a bit about your journey from enlisting as a personnel administrative specialist to your current role as an AG Warrant Officer ILE follow-on instructor?
Okay, so my path began back in 2000 when I first joined the military. I always wanted to be a warrant officer. From the time I was able to see warrant officers in action and see the experience that they brought to the field, right, expertise, and how senior leaders rely on them to make decisions. So from that time, I started to set myself apart from my peers by taking difficult jobs. I was selected to be the Division Command Sergeant Major's admin NCO, and that was a great experience in a deployed environment in Afghanistan, and kind of building up my resume and experience to lead towards my goal to be a warrant officer. Later on, I was selected to be the MPD chief over in Naples, Italy, working in a joint environment with NATO and our partner allies and nations. Great experience to see how we work together as a team. Later down in my career, I was also able to deploy to Thailand as part of the Cobra Gold exercise. Again, being able to work with other nations. But this time I was working in the plans and operations aspect of our job. Being able to work at that level helped me to see how the Army works and be able to work at the operations level and being able to work through processing flights and flight manifests and processing passengers. And not only that, but being able to take part of that exercise was greatly enhancing, and now being able to bring all those pieces together as an instructor, being able to share those experiences with the students and lessons learned along the way is what makes my job very rewarding, and I enjoy doing that.
Outstanding. Let's go ahead and dive into more of the good stuff. Let's start by laying the foundation. So as an AG Warrant Officer ILE follow-on instructor, you're at the tip of the spear when it comes to developing mid-level warrant officers. Could you break down what your role entails and how it directly contributes to shaping the leaders we need across the HR enterprise?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think it's wonderful to talk about my role as a Adjutant General WOILE-FO follow-on course instructor. So basically, my primary responsibilities are quite diverse, but all center around delivering a high-quality, relevant, and challenging educational experience. So ultimately, my goal is to prepare these warrant officers to be technically and tactically proficient leaders. So this course isn't just about learning about their job, but it's also about learning how to lead within their job at a strategic level. I believe that by the end of the course, my students will be confident, competent, and ready to take on greater responsibility and contribute significantly to the success of the organizations. I think it's an incredibly rewarding feeling to see them grow and develop through the program.
That level of responsibility really speaks to how critical this touch point is in a warrant officer's career. You're not just teaching, you're transforming futures. Now let's talk future state. The Army is full speed ahead on the FY26 Warrant Officer PME modernization, and it's big. From your seat, how is the AG Corps preparing for this shift? What specific changes or innovations are on the horizon for the curriculum, and how do you see it better aligning with the Army's future operational needs?
Great question. So the FY26 Warrant Officer PME modernization, it's a significant undertaking and an exciting opportunity to elevate the quality of warrant officers' education. Basically, from my perspective within our AG Corps as a WOILE instructor, we're actively engaged in this effort. It is not just about tweaking our existing courses. It's a fundamental rethinking of how we develop our AG warrant officers. The AG Corps recognizes that the future operating environment demands more than just technical expertise, and I really believe that we need warrant officers who are adaptable, analytical, and capable of leveraging data, which is one big aspect of what we do as AG warrant officers, to inform decision making. One of the biggest changes is the inclusion of Microsoft Power Business Analytics software into the course, along with data visualization, education, and data strategy. AG warrant officers are often responsible for tracking key metrics, HR metrics related to personnel, logistics, and readiness, and Power BI allow us to create real-time dashboards that provide a clear and concise overview of the situation. So it basically enables us faster and informed decision-making. So Power BI has transformed the AG warrant officers from data collectors to data analysts and storytellers. So being able to help commanders make decisions is what it comes down to. So our students will no longer be just reporting numbers. They're providing insights that drive action, and I think it's crucial as a crucial skill for success in the modern Army.
So your background is steeped in operational deployments and readiness-focused assignments. How do you bring that real-world experience into the classroom? And what does it look like when you connect doctrine to downrange realities?
Yes, so it's quite difficult, and I think it's a critical point here that you mentioned. Bridging between theory and practice is key. We're very intentional. I'm very intentional about integrating current events and practical exercises into our instruction. So I don't think it's just enough to know the doctrine. You need to be able to apply it under pressure as well, using realistic situations. So here's kind of how we do it. So we monitor current events and changes happening across the Department of Defense that have relevance to the AG Corps. So these events become the foundation for in-depth discussion within the classroom. As an example, I will say that we take a deep dive into the National Defense Authorization Act that comes out yearly. So when a new NDAA document is released, we looked at it, we have a discussion on the changes that are announced, and we discuss the implications of these changes with the students and how these changes may potentially affect their organizations. Another thing that we do is we have also guest speakers, subject matter experts, senior AG warrant officers, and sometimes even civilians experts to share their experiences and insights. And I think this provides the students with a valuable perspective from the field. So in the end, I think the goal is to create a learning environment that is both challenging and engaging. So we want our students to leave our course feeling confident and prepared to tackle real-world challenges is what it comes down to.
Let's pivot to leadership. In your opinion, what leadership attributes are absolutely essential for today's AG warrant officers? And how do you help cultivate those qualities throughout the Warrant Officer ILE follow-on course?
All right, so we dedicate significant efforts to cultivating those leadership qualities through the ILE course, and I think it's pretty much in almost everything that we do, not just a standalone module that covers leadership and covers basic aspects of doctrine. But we utilize the Athena assessment, leadership assessment, and the 360-degree feedback, where students receive feedback from their peers, superiors, and when appropriate, from subordinates as well. This provides a comprehensive view, I think, of their leadership strengths and weaknesses. And, when we heavily emphasize the warrant officer tradition of mentorship, we also discuss the importance of developing future leaders and providing guidance to junior officers. And, we always encourage students to think about how they can become mentors themselves and share that knowledge with others as well.
No two warrant officers learn the same way, especially when you're training across regular Army, National Guard, Army Reserves, and even international officers. How do you adapt your instruction to accommodate those diverse learning styles and backgrounds?
Yeah, that is always a challenge, I think, for every instructor at any PME. But we regularly solicit feedback from students on our instructional methods to see what works, what doesn't work, how can we make it better. So we use this feedback to make adjustments to our curriculum as well and teaching strategies, teaching techniques. So my goal is, as a teacher, is to create as an instructor, as a PME instructor, is to create a learning environment that all students can just feel valued, supported, and empowered to succeed, right? And to take away the key elements of the lesson. And I believe that by embracing diversity and tailoring our instructions to meet the needs of all learners, we can maximize their potential and get them ready to be effective AG warrant officers out in the field.
So you've got over 100 students per year rotating through the Warrant Officer ILE follow-on course. That's a ton of data, insight, and lived experience coming through your classrooms. How do you leverage student feedback to evolve the course and keep the content fresh and relevant?
Well, that's one of the key aspects about AG4 ILE is our ability to take feedback from the students and be able to turn it around and adjust what we are providing to them. And yeah, you're spot on. So feedback is critical. We don't view our course as static, right? Our curriculum. We take it as an evolving, living course that, we base it on our experiences and insights from our students. And then at the end of the course, we always ask for feedback, which enables us to make impactful adjustments to the course material. Such as we've added guest speakers on the last class that we added guest speakers from Human Resources Command to come in via MS Teams and have a discussion about the future integration of military pay into our HR systems of record. So we see feedback as a gift, an opportunity to improve the course and prepare our students for the challenges they will face. So it's a continuous cycle of always gathering information, analyzing, and implementing those pieces into our course.
Today's battlefield is increasingly joint, multinational, and interagency. How does the Warrant Officer ILE follow-on program equip AG warrant officers to lead and support effectively in those complex environments?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So, and a critical aspect of our AG4 ILE follow-on program. So you're right to highlight the increasing prevalence of joint and multinational operations our warrant officers must be prepared to operate within those complex environments. And in the classroom, we did dedicate significant time to study key aspects of Joint Publication JP1-0, which is Human Resources publication for joint operations. So students aren't just memorizing definitions. So my goal is to focus on applying those concepts to realistic scenarios and have discussions on real-world experiences. And I tie my experience and I share my experience with the students that I've received and got from my deployments to Africa, South Africa with AFRICOM, my joint experience with NATO Brigade, down in the south of Italy. So I'll try to make it realistic and have those discussions and share those differences of experiences. Additionally, we have a guest speaker, CW5 Millet, who is currently the AXO to the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, right, in the Pentagon. So this is not just a motivational speaker. It's a strategically planned session in which our guest speaker provides a big picture perspective to the students on how the AG Corps supports determined priorities and the broader national security objectives. We discuss interagency collaboration also, and kind of highlighting the importance of collaboration with other government agencies and international organizations. And then, he shares insights on joint staff processes. So it's a really good experience that the students get to ask questions and engage, providing students with the opportunity to ask questions and gain insights from a senior leader with extensive joint experience at that level. So
the AG Corps is one of the Army's most legacy-rich branches, but we also have to be agile. How do you approach balancing the core traditions of the Corps with the need to evolve and innovate through PME?
Yeah, balancing tradition with innovation. I mean, it's I think by bringing in senior warrant officers as our guest speakers in our course, seniors who have successfully navigated the challenges of a changing Army. I think it provides students with valuable mentorship and guidance. The CW5, CW4s that we bring on as our guest speakers can share their experiences and insights, and they demonstrate how to balance respect for tradition with a commitment to innovation and be able to do that and balance those two things well.
I know mentorship plays a big part in how you approach instruction. How do you incorporate mentorship into Warrant Officer ILE follow-on, and what kind of long-term impact do you see it having on your students?
Yeah, so in addition to your mandated initial counseling, midterm, mid-course counselings, each class has a junior and senior mentor assigned to them by the Chief Warrant Officer of our Corps, CW5 Bowen, right? So these mentors bring a wealth of experience and a broader perspective, and they focus on long-term career planning, leadership development, and strategic thinking, and they help our students connect their ILE experiences and training to their future career goals. And, they provide them with guidance and on navigating the complexities of the Army and the AG Corps. And they often share insights on building a professional network and maximizing, the opportunities for advancement within our Army as well.
Looking ahead, what's your vision for the future of Warrant Officer PME? And how do you see the Warrant Officer ILE follow-on and instructors like yourself helping shape the Army's next generation of HR leaders?
Oof, that's a loaded question there. But as an instructor, ultimately, what I envision the course, I envision the AG WOILE follow-on as a catalyst for change within the Warrant Officer PME. Always pushing the boundaries of what is possible and preparing our warrant officers to be leaders who can thrive in the complex and rapidly evolving world of the 21st century. I want to move beyond simply training these guys to develop them as strategic thinkers, innovators, and leaders.
All right, so I've got a quick fire question here about the new redesign of Warrant Officer PME that's scheduled to kick off here fairly soon. Um, we've actually have the intermediate level course preceding the advanced course. What are your thoughts on that, and how's the AG school preparing for those changes?
Well, yes, and change is not always bad. I think I perceive change as something good, an opportunity to learn. But here at the schoolhouse, we are ready for the new PME implementation and WOIC transition, right? We have phenomenal developers that have been working hard to ensure that our lessons are up to par. And I think we're ready for a transition and ready for the challenge and to continue to educate our warrant officers and set them up for success.
Mr. Carrion, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share before we end today's episode?
Being an instructor at the AG school has been a rewarding experience. Being able to share my knowledge, groom the next generation, help implement and modernize the PME for the next generation is a true honor and privilege, and I'm just glad I'm able to do my part here at the schoolhouse in this effort.
Mr. Carrion, this was an outstanding conversation. Your work at the Warrant Officer ILE follow-on level is not only shaping our AG warrant officers, it's helping build the foundation for a more agile, more modern, and more lethal Army.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. It was a real honor. I'm truly grateful for the opportunity, and I want to challenge every single AG1 officer out there that has not attended WOILE to come down and experience what we have and equip you with the right tools to make you successful. So come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Carrion, for your time today and for sharing your expertise. And to all our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cohort W. We'll see you next time as we continue exploring the transformation of warrant officer education and leadership for the future fight. Until next time, stay sharp, stay adaptable, and keep leading from the front.
W